Today I'm just going to spend a few minutes talking a little bit about an initiative that the Holstein Association Board of Directors did we've been doing the last couple of years, where our focus was really on 2030 and beyond. And what we're trying to do is really plan for the future of the Holstein Association. And in order to do that very well, you really have to have a feeling of the past. You know, if you don't understand the past, it's really difficult to understand the future. So what we did is we kind of looked at some things that, what have we done in the not too distant past, and then what might, lie ahead in the future. So we're going to talk about that for a few minutes this afternoon. Obviously, most of you are well aware of the vision and the mission of the Holstein Association, and that's behind us on everything that we do. It's pretty clear. These are some of the ways that, one of the things we have talked about in recent years, we have to do some things to really enhance recognition to those of you who do this and work so hard every day. We maybe hadn't done that as well as we could have in the past. So these are some things that we've done that have enhanced member recognition. Back in 2007, what we did is we started to develop some new programs for individuals and animals to be recognized. Ragencrest right here, one of the prestigious awards that we now have that started in 2007 is our Elite Breeder Award. And many of you are in this room today, and you have elite breeders in the state of Iowa. Like we said, we referred to Ragencrest here being honored. We really encourage you folks to get those people nominated for all of these awards we have, because there's so many worthy recipients. We've honored individuals. Here, our Distinguished Leadership Award is an award we started in 2007. Dr. Bob Walton received that, former president of CEO of ABS for many years. We started the Star of the Breed program. This is Miss Hot Mama Red E.T., who is the current Star of the Breed, and that's one of the recognitions that we've started. The Herds of Excellence, we've got some of those people certainly here from Iowa who've been recognized as the Herds of Excellence. That we honor these herds that lead the nation with a combination of high milk, protein, butterfat production, and average herd classification score. I'm always amazed every year when I see those herds that come in and the quality of those. You can see that we have honored 81 herds through the Herds of Excellence program. In 2017, we expanded the offerings, so we have 3 different groups of herd sizes that qualify for the Herd of Excellence Award. The Distinguished Young Holstein Breeder Award, that's something, of course, here too. We've had some of those winners, obviously, from Iowa in the past. This is Craig Corncross from Wisconsin, who is the current winner of the Distinguished Young Holstein Breeder Award. And one of the things that we added with that is a nice cash component to that award, a $2,000 cash component that we added in 2007. Then what we have here too is animal recognitions that were introduced in 2014, that we have the elite performers, both the national and regional category. Here too, it's something that there are a lot of you that have those. But again, it's another recognition that we have for good cows and those people here, who own some of those. 3,070 animals have been awarded with elite performer status since the inception, since 2014. Again, many of you are Holstein Complete Herds. This is something that we started soon after I came on the scene here with the association, but this is a program that couldn't be more well received. We'll get into that a little bit more on some of the numbers there. National Show Judges List, that's a program that we started back in 2009. It's been very, very successful, giving a lot of people the opportunity to qualify for either the national list or the qualified show judges list. This shows you where some of the conferences have taken place. We've had 414 participants in the 7 years since we've started this program. And this is nice to have lists. You know, we get contacted from people all over the country that we're looking for judges, and it puts us in a nice position to be able to say, well, here are our lists that we have. You know, you might want to choose some people from this list. We also get a lot of international requests as well. We have many of you folks have served as delegates, and this is something that we started the delegate information breakfast several years ago, and that was a result of when early on in my career we had an annual meeting in New Jersey, and I was really concerned about the amount of confusion amongst the delegate body on some of the things that we've had. So since 2003 we have that delegate information breakfast. Get everybody up to speed on the type of things they're going to be passing judgment on, and I think that it's been very, very helpful. We've had 1,775 delegates participate in that program. The foundation, many of you have gone through the YDLI program and are contributors to the Holstein Foundation. Thank you very much for that. We've had 611 alums from the Holstein Foundation program, and of course the foundation gets involved with many of our as part of our youth programs and young adult programs. So anyway, those are some of the things from the member perspective that have touched you directly. But we also have talked about, so what have we done from business initiatives that may have helped, you know, put us on the path we're on, and then how that might help us in the future or prepare for the future. Here, complete. I talked about that later on. This shows the growth that we've had in the Holstein Complete program since its inception in 2002. It's growth of 413%. So that's something, you know, you guys speak with your pocketbooks with everything that you do, and obviously you've seen value in this program. This is the number of herds enrolled. The herds are up 222%. But this is the thing that I think is interesting when you look at this, is that members have saved an average of $434,000 annually by participating in Holstein Complete. Put another way, since 2002, the combined savings has been over $6.5 million that through the participation that you've received the discounts on Complete, is if you would have purchased those same products and services a la carte. Ear tags have gone over phenomenally well. That's a program, again, many of you are in our Tag ID program and know the advantages firsthand of those. If you're not, here again, Alan and Dennis, and for those of you watching on YouTube, your regional sales representative can help you with that. But this shows the increase that we've had of our sales of ear tags since 2001. Ear tag sales have increased by 382%. One of the things that we did in 2004 that was a big thing was when we purchased Agritech Analytics from Bill Clark and Rich Denier in Visalia, California. And that was something that was closely scrutinized when we bought that organization, as some of you may remember. But I'm sure glad that the board made that decision to purchase ATA, and you heard about some of our success recently with that. That purchase of ATA brought us into a whole new group of herds that we'd never worked with before. We were doing very little on the West Coast, and it's helped us tremendously. And you can see how ATA is leading the pack in the dairy records processing center industry. We're the only one that showed an increase in participation last year in growth, and we had significant growth. We really think that ATA has helped our relevance in the dairy industry and helps propel us to the future as well. But since our purchase of ATA, ATA has contributed to our bottom line with $1.2 million in new revenue annually. Parentage verification, you can kind of see this thing in itself, but we went from, you look at what's happened from the blood typing days that we were still doing back in 2005, and then how the transition that we've had over the years to where we are today. One of the great things that we did is, several years ago we started working with Pfizer. Of course, now it's Zoetis on genomic testing. That's been a wonderful partnership. The development of Enlite has been something that many breeders have really seen great benefits from. But through 2017, members have purchased 238,000 genomic tests from the Holstein Association. And one of the things about genomic testing that is so great and why it's so great for the Holstein breed and is the genetic progress of the Holstein breed has just skyrocketed through genomics. And you look at that. And anybody who does genomic testing, other breeds are seeing, improvement in genetic process, but we are just skyrocketing. And that, again, is really helping the Holstein breed completely outdistance other dairy breeds in genetic progress. There's nothing like it. And it's a really credit to all of you folks for what you've done. So the partnership that we've had with Zoetis has enhanced, value to our traditional members, but it's also broadened the scope of dairy farmers that we've worked with. We have identification and genetics is suddenly important to really everybody in the dairy business. And so we're working with a lot more dairies today than we ever had before. Some of our largest customers today are people that really did no business with us a couple of years ago. So the increase has been phenomenal and the interest has been really great. Talk a little bit about National Fair. We do believe, we have our farm animal identification record system, National Fair. We do believe that there will be a national mandatory animal ID program in this country one day, and if there is, we think that this is the blueprint of what it will be. We've gotten some political action in Washington in this several years ago, where we had National Fair Acts in both the House and the Senate. A real ringleader for national animal identification has been Colin Peterson from the neighboring state of Minnesota, and Senator Pat Leahy from Vermont. And you can see from their quotes there where they think the importance of national animal identification is. I worked really closely with the National Milk Producers Federation in working on the Premise ID program through iDairy. Jerry Kozak, former CEO at National Milk, was really good to work with on this iDairy program. Lindsay had alluded to some of the things that we've done with other breeds earlier. You're well aware of these, but cooperation with the other breeds is very, very important. And the approach we've always taken is that it's best if they come to us and make a request to us rather than us going to them. We think there'll be more work we can do with other breeds as time goes on, and other species. As you can see, we did some work for the American Simmental Association, and I think we can do it for other beef breeds and do some things there as well. We think that nobody does animal ID better than the Holstein Association. Many of the folks here involved with the red and white Holsteins, we've been very pleased with the great work that we've had with the folks at RWDCA, and that relationship seems to be going exceedingly well. We talked about the classification with the Guernsey Association. We hope that maybe other breeds can enter the fold in the future. A little bit of milk marketing. I think anytime we work with you folks, need a little reminder. We've been involved with some things there, tried to get some things done in the past. We developed our dairy price stabilization program. It was never adopted nationally, but Jim Costa introduced a bill, the Dairy Price Stabilization Program Act of 2010. I personally believe that had that been enacted, we wouldn't probably have some of the pain that we have in the dairy industry today, but there too, we've been active in that area. Talked about that, don't need to get into that a whole lot now. We talked about our improved communications program. The Pulse, not too many years ago, the Pulse was a newsprint magazine. We first went to this in 2008, and Allflex became our sponsor. This is the new Holstein Pulse that Ashley talked to you about earlier. Improved communications. Again, we're working with the National Association of Farm Broadcasters stations, and we're getting spots on the radio frequently, and we're regularly on RFD TV with interviews with people like you. Talked about Holstein America. The debut of the program was so successful that they ran it again a couple days later. So we've had a lot of great responses to that. But this is the thing that I think is really interesting. And you look at the spike that we've had there since we had the program. Excuse me. Since we had the program there is we got 11% of our total year's viewership on our YouTube channel in the 3 days after the airing of that program. So you can see that jump started after 11 o'clock Eastern time when that show aired. So kind of interesting if you want to look at kind of a cause and effect graph. That's about as good as it gets. Unprecedented Holstein popularity, again, because of you. You guys have set the trend. You know, people want to be like you. And so you look at the tremendous growth in Holstein identification that we've had. We've had growth between 2002 and 2017, 85% in total identifications. This is one of the things, and we've got directors here. We have President Schaufelberger here today and Vice President Geiger, Director Current, former Director Ag Inc. here today. I think that's the group that I've had the pleasure of working directly for in the time I've been here. But they need to be applauded for the good decisions that they have made in the past and continually make. And some of these the purchase of ATA and approving these partnerships have been key to our success. Every dairy is now a prospective customer for the Holstein Association USA. That wasn't the case a lot of years ago, but every person who milks cows today is a prospect. These are some of the initiatives, again, that have greatly expanded House's position in the industry. You can read those things for yourself. When you look at it, the power of partnership has brought in millions of dollars to the association since we started with those people. Just imagine what the association would be like today if we didn't offer Allflex tags, if we didn't have ATA, if we didn't have our relationship with Zoetis. We talked about this a little bit earlier, the reserve fund, but look and see what the reserve fund has done since 2001. It's done extremely well. And then this is the other thing, I guess, you know, if you look at it as being members of the association, you know, what has happened to the net assets? You know, are we taking the fiduciary responsibility that goes with management of the association seriously? Well, this speaks quite well, and again, you contribute to this, and we try to manage those assets the best we can. So I talk to my colleagues, and we talk about this at the board level, that businesses either go forward or backwards. You never stay the same. And so we need to continue to say what's next as we prepare for 2030 and beyond. So we ask, is there something new in our future? I think there certainly is, but those are things that your board of directors and your management staff continually look at to see what kind of programs, products, and services can we develop or work with that may help you be more effective and profitable in what you do. So, thank you.